managers come and go, players come and go, even owners come and go. Fans don't. Fans are always there, and I think that the fans will turn up at Birmingham City next season. Yeah, we might not be playing the size of the clubs that we've been playing or used to be playing, in recent years, but the fans will still turn up. So welcome back to Small Heath Alliance FC, and the season has just finished, and unfortunately it's resulted in relegation from Birmingham City to League One next season. We knew that it was a tough season. We knew that there were certain things going on in and around the club that have made it difficult this season for us, but we all had hope up until the last game that we might be able to stay up, but unfortunately we fell short. In this video, myself and Matt, this is unscripted, so we've got any notes or done any research about this video. It's just really to get our thoughts on where we are at the moment and how we're feeling about the fact that we've just been relegated. So I'll ask Matt, really, Matt. So just come back actually from the match. What's your thoughts?
Well, we intend to post this video at the time of recording in a couple of days, but the emotions are still very raw from the Norwich game, aren't they? We've just found out literally 3 hours ago that we've been relegated. So I'm still devastated is the key word for me. I still am reflecting on everything that's happened this season. Again, there's a lot of anger around social media, a lot of finger pointing at different areas. And I think there's a lot of responsibility and there's a lot of accountability across all areas of this club. It's not just Rooney, it's not just Cook, it's not just the players, it's not just the recruitment. I think it's an amalgamation of all those things and more. We've been run rubbishly for 12 years as well. Let's not forget that. So there's just all these different things. And the irony that BSHL have kept us up this time and we do get Knighthead in and we're relegated. I just can't get my head around it. My head's in all sorts of places at the moment. I'm sort of happy 1 minute thinking about the future of this club. I still think we've got a very bright future. Then the next minute I'm really sad because we're now going to be playing League One football next season. It's a little bit of a roller coaster that I'm on at the moment in terms of emotions with this club. But as always, Dad, we will be season ticket holders next season, and we will be going to as many away games as we possibly can, won't we?
We'll be there. We'll dust ourselves down, but obviously, we've got to go through this period now of accepting that we are relegated, and it's tough. There's no other way of explaining it. Even though that we knew it was a possibility now for a number of weeks as the season was starting to draw closer and closer to the end, when it actually happens, it's a completely different feeling because you think, but I think because in the back of your mind, you always think there's a hope that you won't get relegated, but we have been. And, you've got this really strange situation at the moment, because we know that our future looks good under our owners but that's not now. And that's the difficult thing. We've been relegated, but it doesn't feel absolutely devastating because we know that the future comes. We know there's a lot of work to do in the summer, so I think that's going to be very interesting now because the type of players that we're likely to recruit are going to be different from those if we'd have stayed in the Championship. So it's just that mixed emotions at the moment. I'm sure most of the Blues fans are actually feeling as well that we are probably in for a good few weeks of barracking from other fans. We got to accept that. That's what they will do. But
we'll have our day.
That's the thing, isn't it?
We'll have our day.
We'll have our day, and so we know that we're going to get a lot of stick from fans, particularly from certain clubs, local clubs that are going to find this, in their opinion, very, very, very amusing. But it's just, again, I think it's just about remembering how we're feeling right now because this will make, when we do start to develop the club and start to move forward positively, these moments it's worth remembering because they'll make them even more special.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know how you keep thinking, and again, it's all very fresh, it's all very raw, but we've got relegated by 1 point effectively. I keep thinking back to Plymouth away, I keep thinking back to Rotherham and Huddersfield, those 2 games last week. If that Stansfield goal wasn't offside at Rotherham, all these different scenarios and games have been running through my head thinking, what would have happened if we did this, what wouldn't have happened if we did that. But sadly, we have to accept that we're going to be a League One club next season. I really hope the recruitment is on it for next year. We need more physical players, more leaders, more captains, more people who can grab the game. And I still think this club has a very bright future amongst all this emotion of a little bit of anger, a little bit of sadness, a little bit of confusion. even at the Norwich game, Dad, I don't know whether you felt it, like, even before the final whistle went, I still felt like Leicester were suddenly going to get 2 goals, or Hull were going to equalise, or Sunderland were going to get 2 goals. I never actually thought that whistle would blow and all the other full times would come in and Blues would actually finish the season sitting in 22nd. And it's funny because me and you are glass half full. We are quite positive. You know, we didn't want to believe that we were going to get relegated. And, you know, mentally, you do kind of prepare for these different outcomes. But actually, when it happens, nothing quite prepares you for when you get relegated, does it?
No, it's very true. I know what you mean as well about, you know, thinking about all those moments. You know, I thought about the handball goal against Hull.
Yeah.
That should never have happened. It was a clear handball. But you know what? You could look at all of these little things about that have happened, and it ain't going to change anything, is it? You know, but we have to look forward. I'd love to be, you know, a fly on the wall in the boardroom to see what the club now are planning, because they must have planned or thought about different scenarios.
Yeah.
And how they're going to move it forward. I think we know there's going to be a lot of activity in the transfer window because we know we've got so many players out of contract, and when the loan players will go back. And I'm pretty sure that none of the contracted players are safe either. I think some of them will look to be moved on now, because we need to change the mentality of the club, and we need to move forward in the right direction. As I say, the difficult thing is that everything off the pitch seems to have been done so well, but on the pitch is what's really let us down, isn't it? And so, as a Blues fan, I at this point in time, I'm devastated at this point in time. But I know that as the days and the weeks and the months go on, I'll start to, you know, get my sort of enthusiasm back, and then, you know, start looking at the transfer rumours, you know, all the things that we're going to cover in the podcast over the summer, the pre-season friendlies, and when the first game of the season starts, we'll all be there, ready to you know, cheer the club on and back Tom Wagner and Knighthead and the rest of the club.
Even if we'll be at Bristol Rovers, not Bristol City, we'll still be there. And that's no disrespect to Bristol Rovers. It's just a fact that obviously we're now going to be playing League One teams, which
that's just the reality, Matt.
It's the reality, absolutely. And we're going to have such a clear out. To be honest with you, apart from Bielek, Buchanan, and Yuki, if the majority of them went and maybe Laird, I wouldn't actually be too fussed. I think we need a huge clear out.
Yep.
And a lot of them are out of contract anyway. We need a different kind of transfer window for League One. It's a much more physical league. We are going to have a ceiling of transfer in League One. You know, we're only going to attract a certain type of player. But look at Ipswich. At the time of recording, they've just been promoted They've been promoted to the Premier League, so they've had back-to-back promotions. And Ipswich are a prime example of really good recruitment, building at that level and then pushing forward the following year. So if we can follow something like the Ipswich model, I think we'll be okay. But that comes down to the players you bring in, the money you spend, and Wagner did say in the open house that we have got a little bit of money in the pot. I don't know whether that changes now with relegation, whether they have to hold some back from the loss of the TV rights. Who knows what our finances are going to look like next season? But we should, in theory, have one of the biggest stadiums, have one of the biggest fan bases, have one of the biggest transfer budgets. So even though it feels devastating at the moment, I did not want to go to League One. I think we'll still be okay, and I've got a feeling a bounce back will be on the cards.
Oh, I think so as well. I said the key thing is recruitment. No, we don't know. We don't know at the moment at this point in time. In fact, I presume at some point over the next few weeks, Blues will release their retained list, so you'll know which players are going, which ones that they're keeping, and that'll be interesting when that comes out. So we'll have a look at that actually, Matt, and see what we think on that. But a key thing is that we don't know yet. We really hope that Tony Mowbray will come back. I don't know for certain. You hear different rumours about whether he's coming back
as well.
I hope he does.
I hope he's healthy as well. And
no, of course.
And...
Well, he won't come back unless he's, you know, completely able to and healthy. And we really hope and pray that he is. But the manager is going to have hopefully a big influence on the type and quality and standard of players that they want in the team. So if they're planning with Tony, then obviously that can be done almost immediately if he's coming back. So
he brought Blackburn back up from League One.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so he knows the league.
He knows League One. He knows what it takes to get the club out, and also as well, he'll be able to almost start with a fresh slate, because remember when he came in, he had the players that were already here. Mm-hmm. Now with the amount of changes and the players out of contract, you know, with good recruitment, he'll be able to pick the type and style of players that he wants that we can attract at League One level actually. And
also, I did just say that a bounce back is back on the cards, and we are going to go down to League One, as I say, one of the bigger clubs in the division for sure. But that isn't an inevitability. That's not a certainty. I would just like to point out Derby, Portsmouth, Sunderland spent 4 years down there. You know, League One isn't the easy ride
Ipswich were
that
down there a few years.
Ipswich were down there a few years.
Leeds?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Leeds were down. Millwall got relegated. It's not an easy league to get out of. So that's not me saying arrogantly we're going to go down and come straight back up. I'm not saying that necessarily. What I'm saying is if we have good recruitment, we spend a good amount of money, we can stack the deck in our favour to have a very good season. But there's no doubt about it, Dad. League One is a tough league. It's a very physical league, and it's not going to be as easy, I don't think, as some fans are possibly thinking
It's a
going to be.
mentality, and obviously, Birmingham City are going to be a big club in that league, and that's not being arrogant. That's just we are going to be a big club down there, and clubs are going to come to us and they're going to up their game. They're going to want to beat us. So that's why we're talking about Matt having and recruiting the players in the right type of mentality as well as ability. But
we need fighters, don't we? Battlers, grinders, physical players, want to get stuck in.
Yep.
Aren't scared to step on people's toes. Even at the time of recording the Norwich game earlier today, I don't know why, but it really annoyed me. We fouled a couple of Norwich players, and our players helped them get up, held their hand, and got them back. Leave them on the floor. Be a bit ruthless. What's the harm? You're just leaving him on the floor. It's not a big deal. Little tiny niggles like that for me. No, there's no need to pull him up if he's on the floor. Just leave him. And there's been a couple of times this season where a team have scored and we've given the team the ball back out straight out the net, and it's like, come on, have a bit of.
Successful teams have players that have an edge.
Exactly.
I'm thinking like Roy Keane and players like him. There's no Patrick Vieira. There's no way they're being nice to people. I'm not saying be nasty, like you said, but just be nice. So I think League One will be an interesting league because obviously it's one we haven't been in for many years. It's a little bit different in that we are going down now with good owners. And under these owners, you would expect them to invest a little bit of money in the club now, to the squad, to try and get us out of it. In those days, it was again very similar to previous ownerships where we didn't have an awful lot of money, but we still managed to get out of there, and we were a big club then. But again, even in those times, the fans still turned up, and I think the fans will still turn up. Obviously, at Birmingham City, we're obviously we support our club, so managers come and go, players come and go, even owners come and go. Fans don't, fans are always there, and I think that the fans will turn up at Birmingham City next season. Yeah, we might not be playing the size of the clubs that we've been playing or used to be playing, in recent years, but the fans will still turn up, and that's the thing that will help get the players motivated to get us out of that league as well.
I mean, and today at Norwich, it shows, doesn't it, when you have a full house, the impact it has on the players. We've had 6 sellouts this season and 6 wins at home. And I just wish the players could have carried the intensity of those 6 games in a couple of more home. I mean, not even the home games, just carry that one more time away.
Yeah.
And we had 3 wins on the road this year, which is completely unacceptable. Some Platinum members have been to all 23 away games, and the players in return have given them 3 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, you were at 2 of those. It's just on our away form this year. I've never known a season on the road quite like it this year. It really has been poor.
There has to be lots of improvements. And I think, the away form, but again, I think, we'll be starting next season with a completely different squad. As we, at the time of recording, we just gutted, aren't we? Yeah. I mean, the truth is we're just gutted.
And we didn't mention this in the Norwich video. I'm gutted that Stansfield and Yuki have played our last game in a Birmingham. Well, who knows in terms of contract renewal? But technically, Yuki is out of contract this summer, so unless it gets renewed, he has just played his final game for Birmingham City. And Stansfield is a lone player who scored 13 goals for us this season across all competitions. And I'm going to miss Stansfield, and I'm going to miss Yuki.
Yeah.
So I do wish them all the luck in the world. Who knows what's going to happen this summer? I'm not saying completely that we might. I mean, Stansfield isn't going to come down to League One, I don't think, after the year he's had in the Championship. But Yuki, who knows? He might get a contract renewal. But to see them on the pitch today made me a bit emotional, and I was sad because Yuki's a legend, isn't he? He sort of helped us in many of these over the years. In fact, his final game for Blues is actually finally finished in relegation. It's a sad day for the club, and I think it's a sad day for Yuki.
It is, yeah. It's a sad way if that is his last game. So you don't know. I mean, I'd hope they'd look at offering him something as a maybe a coach or something like that.
I hope so.
But who knows? Who knows? But so. That's how we're feeling, Blues fans. I'm sure you're feeling the same. It's been a tough season for us, and if anything, I'm actually relieved that the season's over now, that we can draw a line under it. It's not where we obviously wanted to end up, but we are where we are. We're in League One starting next season, and moving forward, we will get better. And I'm hoping that this is the low point of where we'll get to, and we can start to now build and move forward. But let us know what you think. Obviously, we always like to hear your comments, so please make sure that you add a comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are on on the future of the club, what you think, and how we'll get on in League One. As always, we always remind people this is a family podcast and that we welcome all comments, but families and children do watch our podcast. So if you are going to make a comment, please ensure that you don't use any abusive language or offensive comments, because they will be deleted. We want to keep it, nice and age appropriate, let's say, on the channel. If you did like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already checked out our social media channels, then have a look. You'll see the handles appearing on the screen now for our Instagram accounts and also for our X account. And of course, if you haven't pressed the subscribe button, make sure that you hit it so that you don't miss any further videos. And myself and Matt will see you on the next video.